Hello and welcome to the tutorial for the 3D flange. In this tutorial we're going to go through the design and creation of this shape right here. Now, if you're pretty new to 3D, if this is the first time you're taking anything with 3D and AutoCAD, some things to know that, these lines out here, these are dimensions. And so we just need to pay attention to what the overall shape is. If this is for 3D printing, this is a great shape to start out with. We've got a large surface of it that's going to be on our work plane. In the 3D printer, they're going to call that the print bed. And so you always want to have a good surface on that print bed to get started for anything that you design or anything you download to print. And so this is a nice thing to kind of mention at this point, just because this one does have a nice flat surface on it. We've been talking likely about primitive shapes, and so if I look, this bottom piece, the support, is mainly made up of like a rectangular prism or a box in AutoCAD, and then we've drilled holes in it here using the cylinder tool. I keep saying drill. It's really the subtract tool, Boolean command in AutoCAD. We've got a wedge shape here, or a triangular prism. This is a cylinder hole. You can't see it in this drawing. It actually goes straight back through here. We've got some holes on this side. We can infer, and well, we don't even need to infer because we see the arrow. But there's going to be a matching hole over here. We've got our face. This face is really made up of, you could make it up a couple of ways. I'm imagining we're going to do a rectangular prism or a box shape that we will either fillet round or we will use a circle shape and kind of make that a cutting tool for us, which we'll get into later. We've got another triangular prism or wedge shape there, two holes drilled here. And then it depends on how you want to look at it. We've got a box shape maybe here. We've got a box shape here, smaller one here, or maybe just one big box where we've cut out a little keyhole slot, something like that. So let's get into it. The first thing we need to do is go into box.com, download our template file, and then save as right away. And we're going to save it as 3D flange. So I've got mine open. I'm going to go up to save as. Hopefully right now you're like, you don't need to tell me this. I know this, but I'm telling you anyway. We go to save as. And I'm going to save it as 3D flange. Okay, now everything I saved with the regular Q save, quick save, is just going to save it right there over the top of my 3D flange that I already have. So that's set to go. The next thing, I want to make sure that I am in 3D, and I can look up here and tell you that I am in drafting and annotation. So I'm going to come down here to this gear, workspace switching. Let's switch to 3D modeling. I'm going to go with the southwest isometric view. And we just want to make sure we're southwest isometric on the view cube as well. And it's always a good idea to turn on X-ray. So much easier to see things when it's in X-ray. See what's going on in your design. Let's take a look at that first box and our dimensions. So we need to make a box. First of all, I want to point out we've got some fillets around these corners. We're going to do those toward the end. You usually want to take care of fillets last if you can help it. And the same for chamfers. You want to go over stuff last. If you do it too early, then you can have trouble if you need to do some work from that corner. There's all kinds of little problems it can introduce. So even though it really makes something look cool early on, you do want to wait till the end on those for the most part. So we have a box shape that is 7 1/2 long, 4 1/2 wide, and 5/8 inch tall. Okay, 7 1/2, 4 1/2. So I'm going to choose my box tool. Let's go ahead and start it at 0, 0. Our length, we'll type L. We're going to go 7.5. Actually, what I'll do, I'm going to go at 7.5, comma 0. So I'm using a relative coordinate, and then that'll make sure it is, right down that x-axis. One other thing you can do is turn your ortho mode on. That's what I've done in other videos as well. Any way you want to do it works. Okay, now I believe we're 4.5 back. We are, so we're going to go 4.5. So with this, I just start my direction. I'll type 4.5, hit enter. And now don't be confused by that box. It's going under the work plane. That's fine. I can pull it up with the mouse, and I need 5/8 of 1 inch. So now's a good time to get out that calculator, calculate that out. So you take 5 divided by 8, and that is going to give you 0.625. So we're going to be 0.625 thick. There we go. There's the start of our base. That's a primitive shape that we can build off of. Let's take a look back at our design now. We could move on to make the holes. It might be a good time to do that. We could also work on building this shape up here. I'm sort of neutral. There's always a bunch of ways to draw in AutoCAD, so I'm thinking right now I'm going to start with this box shape here. So what do I need to figure out? Well, I'm going to be 2 inches in from the end. Okay, so that dimension tells me that. Then I'm going to be as wide as my current box is. So that's 4.5. And I need to go up 2 1/8 to get to the center of where this hole is going to be. Looking at that, I see 2 1/8 gets me there. I see that this circle right here has a radius of 1 3/4. So the overall height from here, from this corner, to the very top of this circle is going to be 2 1/8 plus 1 3/4. So I'll convert 3/4 to eighths real quick. 3/4 is 6/8. I add 1/8, that's 7/8. On my calculator, that's going to be 0.875, but I didn't add my whole numbers yet, so 2 plus 1 is 3. So the overall height will be 3.875. So we're going to go in 2 inches. So since we started at the origin, we can go ahead and give an absolute coordinate, but let's do something first. So now we're building on the top of this shape. So to make it easier for us to reference the top of this shape, let's go ahead and make it 0. So make that the work plane. So I'll come right up here. And I'm going to choose, it really shouldn't matter which one is blue, but it might. So I'm going to go here. Let's make our X go up that way, the same way X was already going. Let's make our Y go the same way it was already going. And our Z is going that way. So we just moved everything, vertically a little bit. We've got a surface on here. Okay. So now I'm going to go to the box tool. My first corner is going to be at 2, 0. It did not go where I wanted it to go. Why would that be 2, 0? Let's try that again. We're going to go back to the box tool. We're going to go here. Let's see. We're going to go, actually, we're going to go ID. I'm going to type, no, I don't want to do that.